Liz, how's it going? Hey, Renee, tell Ann I say happy birthday. I have not forgotten her. Just been a little swamped. Jessica, how's your day going? Are y'all ready for the night, ladies? It's like a community of sisterhood. I just be waiting to dive in and talk to you guys. Wonderful. Hey, what about Shaka Khan? Hey, I improved those upper muscles, those upper shoulder muscles. I like that, Jessica. See that song today and here. Wow, on point, Liz. And you know what? It seems like the theme that we've been having all week long. Woman, that power, the power of that womanhood or sisterhood. So. Yes, we are. We are. But probably not from the perspective of, but that's that strength and ability that each of us needs. So, hello, my niece. How are you? Thank you so much for joining and happy birthday. Mika just reminded me, she was like, you know what? You did not send those birthdays out. I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. But I will be posting after this session, okay? All right, ladies, if you are ready, I am so excited that you have joined us and that you are here again tonight. We are on day, what is it? 20? Wow. Day 20 of 30. And as you have seen all day long with the team posting, we're going to dive into the topic of the movie Girlfriend. So, hey, if you guys have seen that movie, send me some hearts, some thumbs up, and all of those things. Hey, Miss Miller, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. If you've seen the movie Girlfriend, send me some hearts, some thumbs up, because this is what we're going to be talking about, but not from the perspective of going to the movie and watching a movie. Hey, Angela, thank you so much for being here. But we're going to be looking at the focus of identity. Okay, so identity. And so that's why the title that we have chosen for tonight's segment is focusing on Girls Trip, the crisis of identity. Girls Trip, the crisis of identity. As always, let me do all of the promos for those outsiders who are not a part of the community that get an opportunity to engage with us. So I am Juanita McDonald, personal development consultant for Rediscover Me. Thank you, Angela. Your pearls look nice. Personal development consultant for Rediscover Me. Let me see what it says. I can see all the writings, but the video on my end is frozen. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe it'll click in, Liz. I'm sorry about that. But going back, and the team is checking everything out on this end, because they're coming out to work on something. I don't even know what to say about them. Had me scratching my head thinking about going with somebody else. But starting over, taking a deep breath. We're going to work through all the technical difficulties. But I am Juanita McDonald, personal development coach for Rediscover Me. Rediscover Me stands on the 3 pillars of lost identity plus lost self-esteem equals lost purpose and direction. That means that when we forget about who we are, the person that we want to be, the things that we do, focus on everybody else and taking our eye off of ourselves. So we try to help you to redirect yourself in order to think about where you want to be, who you want to be. And by doing that, by strengthening the inner you strengthening everyone and everybody else that is connected to you. So with that, I want to go in. Rediscover Me actually offers several different things. We are available for speaking engagements. We do workshops. We have 2 specialty programs that are already in place. We have a 5 to 8 weeks personal development workshops that we orchestrate for organizations. We also engage in webinars and blogs. So we're pretty busy at times. So, and this is available. Now, tonight, ladies, I do have to stress the disclaimer. And the reason for the disclaimer is because with these topics, we will be talking about men. And so I just want to point out that this session is not being used to discredit any man. This session is not being used to discredit any man. The good or the bad of that individual. The purpose, I'm asking everyone to please refrain from calling out anybody's personal name that may come to mind, as well as the aim of this session is so that everyone can personally assess, I want you to personally assess yourself and look at how you personally can make positive decisions and the direction that you have chosen for your life. So this session is really just for self-personal development, where you're at, what you're doing. If something radiate with you based off of any of these characters is helping you to take that inner eye. You always hear me talking about that inner eye. That inner eye to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you can change. And tonight I didn't go in and put any recommendations, but I do want you guys to feel confident in sharing, what you can do to better yourself, how you got through situations. If you're faced with a particular situation, just taking that core hard look at self. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's get ready. I chose the movie Girls Trip, and anybody that knows me know that when I love to go see a good girl movie, and one that offer you an opportunity to do self-evaluation based off of what I'm talking about. And Girls Trip was one of those. Now, the downfall to it is I don't actually look at a movie to enjoy the movie. I look at the movie to analyze the movie, because I take away key pointers, and it also helps me to transcribe when I'm working with individuals, ladies, and things that they are dealing with on a personal basis. And so, with that being said, this is what I want you to keep in mind as you are listening to what I'm saying, the things that I'm going to point out. First, I want to break down the characters, and as always, the research is done. So I went back and refreshed myself up on this particular one. And so first I want to talk about who the characters are, okay? And then I'm going to give a breakdown of what it's represented in the movie and their characteristics and some key factors that stuck out to me. Now, the things that stick out to me may not stick out to you, okay? It's okay, share it. And that's what, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Sharing. So, with that being said, we have four women characters. All of them had life direction, life struggles, and they each had to go back and identify with the me that she used to be. Because they each became lost. Okay, so with that, we have Queen Latifah, who plays Shasha. Somebody please correct me. That one's tongue tied. Sasha. She plays Sasha. And you can talk about me too, guys. I can mess up some answers. We had Tiffany Haddish, and she played Dina. Regina Hall, who played Ryan, and Jada Pinkett Smith, who played Lisa. Now, yes, please. Now, first we're going to start off with Sasha, and that's Queen Latifah. Her character was created to be the design. Her character created the design life when her life changed. You know, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Apparently this typing is wrong. When she first started out, and when she and her crew first started out, she had actually mentally created the perfect life, the direction that she and her girls were going to go, how she wanted everything to flow. And when it changed, hey Nika, how are you? Oh guys, please make sure y'all share the videos. Thanks you so much for joining. But when Sasha first started out, she started out outlining where they were going, and so they were going to conquer the world. That was her aim, to conquer the world and do all of these things. But there was a monkey wrench thrown in, and when that monkey wrench got thrown in, then her mind stopped. And then, as you know, good, I'm so glad to hear that. You know, so as her mind stopped, then it caused her to settle. Okay? So Sasha became a settled person. Her characteristics was she was a protector. She held the secrets of all of her girlfriends, and especially Ryan's. Sasha could always be seen she could always see behind the mask of each and every individual. So she was that friend that actually called each other out. Part of that could have been because of where her mind had stopped. Part of it could have been, you know, that form of consciousness. And you know, we have those people that tell us things, and even when we don't want to hear it. So that's what her characteristics was based off of, as being that protector. And so she mostly wanted individuals to see where their mental allegories stopped at, and to take charge over that. And so, you know, we're going to talk about why we don't do that after a while. One of the things she does is we push away the ones we tell. Okay, so she winds up telling, I don't want to talk about that part yet. And so then we have Dina. Dina is comfortable within her own identity. She is that fly girl that, you know, that'll take challenges. And so her characteristic is she's a risk taker. She's the loud, angry black woman, the fun girl that everyone would like to be. She's also messy. She functioned, you know, in her mind, her mental allegory, she likes chaos. And then when everything erupts, you know, she's that person that's always in your face. You know, she's in your face, and she discloses things about you. You know, and you know that you know, think about it. That when your mind is like, don't want to face facts, she's that conscious that's pushed the facts up in your face, and you have to deal with it. So that's Dina's characteristics. But the problem with Dina is she does not listen to anyone's advice. Yeah, we sure did, Angela. I definitely had a great time at the movies with you guys. Now, because of Dina's characteristics, she's always into some type of turmoil. Like at her job, she was always fighting. I mean, basically all throughout the whole entire movie, you could find her somewhere fighting. She was fighting in the club. She was fighting the Regina's husband, breaking the bottles. You know, so she was that bold figure that each one of us usually have a friend that's that bold sister. And Liz, we got one, right? We love her, but everybody has one. And then also, you know, she had one major problem that was her form of identity, and that she was always looking for love in all the wrong places. You know, there was something missing. There was a hole that was there, and she was filling it with sex. And so the part of the movie told the story when she was coming out of the clinic, you know, and then cheering, I don't have STD, you know. It's like, woo, I missed another one, you know. So that was Dina's character. She can't see, and then also the biggest part of it, she could see everybody else's problem, but she couldn't see hers. The light actually came on for her. Remember when they had that drink scene, and she got a hold to something that was just really way out there, and everybody started hallucinating and doing all the crazy stuff. That's when she finally realized. But now, the one key thing that I seen about Dina is that she was always covering herself and everybody else in prayer. Did you notice that? It was like the loudest person was the most grounded person, but you didn't see it because she was so flashy and out there, So I think I did that. But now the key part about her characteristics was that she was the backbone to the group. She was the backbone to the group. And I don't know if anybody's seen that or not. If you've seen that part of her, chime in and let me know. Because like I say, I'm the type of person, I will analyze things. And so if all of these things are radiating with you, chime in and let me know what you think. Hey, Barbara, how are you? I was looking for you, right? Now we have Lisa. So Barbara, you're gonna have to. We're actually talking about the ladies from the movie Girls Trip, and we're analyzing them, and we're basically focusing on the identity of women. Okay. So now here we are on Lisa, who was portrayed through Jada Pinkett Smith, and she allowed her divorce to break her. She remained in a stagnant state. She lost the title of wife, but then turned around and engulfed in the title of mother. Lisa tried to make life scenes important, and she forced everybody around her. She used them as pawns in order to make herself feel needed. And then the biggest thing that was the biggest tall tale of her identity was her clothing. If you remember, she wore all of those bulky clothes and she was giving out designer names, but it was like she turned into to a grandmother or something. And so the sad part about her is that she used her family, or she positioned her family into this form of cocoon, which was like a protector mode. And so she engulfed that form of protector mode because of the fact that she had already been hurt. So she didn't want nobody or nothing that she loved to become hurt again. And so that's when she closed herself off. She closed herself off to men. She closed herself off to the world. Her clothing, told the story of who she was. And her characteristic was the good girl, the nurturer, that protector of everything and everybody. So not from the status of Queen Latifah's role of Sasha, but that protector. Yeah, Mika, she made herself undesirable. She made herself because she had went through one form of pain. She didn't want to give herself back out, go back out there in the world and have to face pain again. Now, key features that identified Lisa was that she was afraid to allow herself to love, overprotective to herself and her family. Treat them like a cocoon. Now, the biggest part of the movie is she revealed her hurt close to the end when Ryan and Stuart announced that they were going to work out their problems. When they came back and said, hey, we're going to, we're taking counseling, and so we decided we're going to work out our problem, and then she exploded. So she had two explosive factors inside of the movie. That was one of them. The other one was during the dance scene. She was now we were talking about Dina and how rowdy and risky she was. You would have expected, or at least I would have expected her to start out with the first blow. When, which the other person that we're not really focusing on, but when Ryan's husband's mistress shows up at the club, and she's routing off, and so you would have thought that Dana would have punched her and put her in place, or Ryan would have punched her and put her in place, and but she didn't. It was Lisa that came in and did the punch. It was like finally she came out of that shell, and she was like, no more. She returned back to those college days, those before college days, and and punched her. But even though she punched her, now the key part of it was what we said. She went into what a mother does. Oh, thank you. What a mother does. A mother protects her family. Lisa protected her family. Remember the cocoon that I was just talking about? You know, and so basically when she seen that form of threat, she secured that threat and blocked it. So that was that was the key things that I looked at with her. And so Lisa was trapped into a world that she created. You know, she closed off the world. Even though she was a part of it, she was still separated from it. And, you know, and if you think about it, she kept saying, you know, the one thing that was her primary mental blocker, she talked about what she couldn't do. And so in the movie, she said, I can't live with my mother. I can't walk away. This is my world. So those key words there, you know, broke down who she was. So are any of these relating to you ladies? Can you see yourself or somebody else in, you know, from these characteristics? Let me know. Thumbs up, hearts, sad face, no, not working. Now we're going to get into the biggest one, and the biggest one is Ryan. And Ryan was like the biggest identity blocker. As we know, she's the primary character, main character of the movie. So yes, she should have more issues. I think I see some ugly faces flying through. Okay. Didn't work for you. Okay. Let's see if Ryan connects with you. Okay. Now with Ryan, her characteristics was she was a robotic Stedford's wife. A robotic Stedford's wife. So if you know that, she had created this illusion. Even she believed the lie. Even she believed the lie. Mika said Lisa created that world because so long as she remained in her bubble, nothing could hurt her. She was stuck in a hurt. She was stuck in the hurt of her divorce. Yeah, you know, that divorce kicked her butt. You know, it really knocked the air out of her. Onika said, I can see a little bit of all of them in me. Don't take away the kicker, Onika. Look at you. Yes, we're going to talk about that at the end. Thank you, Onika, for giving away the thriller part of the movie. Good. Barbara say, I'm very familiar with Jada part. I don't want nobody around my heart because I was scared of someone hurting me. Yes, Barbara, you know, I can see, you know, and you know, like I said, like Onika said, you know, that's some of all of us. Don't apologize. We're here to have fun. It's all about engagement. Ryan presented herself as the strong black woman, even though she was empty and weak. You know, she fulfilled herself based on society standards. She had the perfect husband, the fame, and the ideal life that everybody wants. She wore the biggest mask. Hey, Natasha, thank you so much for joining us. If you recall what I shared with everybody before, there's this quote that I love this quote by Thomas Cooley. And it talks about exactly how we wear those masks. Mika says, it's okay to be scared. Don't stop living because you have to face hurt. That's right. You do have to face hurt. You know, it's just like facing death. Hurt is death. You know, so you do have to face it. But Thomas Cooley's quote says, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am, though, who I think you think I am. Okay? Just to give y'all that one again because it's very tongue-tying. I am not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am, though, who I think you think I am. So basically that's that whole illusion, that whole mask, that, you know, that thing that we put up front to make people think, you know, hey, you know, I got it going on. My life is glamorous. It's fabulous. And so basically that's Ryan. She had this gigantic illusion. And that's what she portrayed. She gave tons and tons and tons of non-verbal cues. And the biggest one that constantly caught my eye was she was very limited on her smiles, her laughter. She was very subdued, stuffy, and she orchestrated her movements. If you watch, she even confronted Sasha and said, you know, hey, you know, I'm a guest here with these, and I've invited you as my guest, so I need you to not be in work mode. Do you remember that scene? She's like, don't be in work mode. I need you to not talk about the people that has invited me. So basically, it wasn't about what Sasha did. It was about what she thought society and the world was going to see. And so that's why she put that part out there. Now, the main things that I have about her is she enjoyed that she could treat her friends to her world. She had the money, so therefore she could show them, hey, this is what the world that I live in, what it's like. She lost her identity. She lost her total identity. Found it easier to pretend than to face the truth. She was that boxed in woman. Remember the segment that we did last week on Boxed In? Her money, her position, and her status kept her confined to a place. So, even though she already knew her husband was cheating on her, knew the woman that her husband was cheating on her with, she, in order to keep that image up, that boxed in image, and project of that perfect woman, she was willing, yes, she used that word willing, to live a lie. And so that's what she projected. She tries to analyze everyone else's issue but her own. I can see you, but you can't see me. It's that plank in the eye, like, what is based off of biblical scriptures. Her image and her money was most important to her. It wasn't nothing else. Her image and her money was most important to her. After she, got into that scene and finally came to herself, she remembered who she was, how she had given away all of her power and lost her identity. Her true brokenness was revealed when the Instagram chick, and I'm using the word chick, that's a nice word, when he gave her husband Stuart what she couldn't, which was the baby. It was like she finally had to take the mask off. She finally had to face the fear. She finally had to face society and remove her mask, and that was upon the disclosure of the baby. So one of the things that I put down here was that no one has the power to shatter your dreams unless you give them permission. No one has that power. Now, the biggest, problem that I seen with her, with Ryan, was she kept saying to herself, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am powerful. I'm beautiful, I'm strong, and I'm powerful. Those words are great when they are applied, but they are a daggered edge, a very sharp daggered edge, when you speaking mentally but acting physically the opposite of what you are trying to change about yourself. Because remember, the one thing I constantly point out to you ladies is that it takes you 12 to 21 days to break a habit or to create a habit. And if you are going through the process of breaking a habit, but you keep slipping back doing the same thing, you really have to start over. You force yourself to start over. So for Ryan, she would actually reaffirm herself and talking about what she can do and how she can do it. She's powerful, she's strong, she's a beautiful black woman, she's accomplished all these things. So mentally she's telling herself this, but physically she's doing the total opposite. So her world was just totally and completely, unbalanced, totally unbalanced. And so she was literally dying inside. Okay. Now, and the two other outside characters that, and I'm throwing these people in is because they played a purpose for her. Her husband, Stuart, played a purpose because he was the divider. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Remember that, okay? So he was the divider, but also the capitalizer. He was the divider and the capitalizer. You may say, why is that? How is that? If you noticed in the movie, he was constantly, just for instance, when Dina attacked him in the hotel, and the hotel was kicking her out, and he had the option to, say, hey, that's, we don't need to call the police. But, and if you watched his eyes, then, his eyes just went up, and it's like, all of a sudden the light bulb went on, hey, I can get rid of her. I can have what I want, the Instagram chick on the side in the same hotel with what I want, and my wife and her friends, so I can get rid of all of them and still live the life and have the comforts that I want. Mika says, each of the ladies never reached the testimony because they refused to see past the test or acknowledge the lessons being taught. Yeah, you're right. And that's one of the things that we are leading up to. We're going to talk about how we see our reality but fail to identify it. And all of those realities are testers that constantly come toward you. The other thing that Ryan's husband did that was so phenomenal, I'm going to say phenomenal, which falls into that nonverbal thing. You could always see that when he spoke to Ryan, his wife, he spoke to her image, but he never spoke to her heart. Did you see that? When he talked to her, he spoke to her image. He spoke to her brand. He talked about how they have built up, their livelihood, and he said, we can work this out. But that capitalizing came in when he's like, you could fix it by paying the mistress off. You can fix it, not me, and he was a professional football player, right? But I never seen him like doing anything outside of being attached to her. But if I'm wrong, correct me. And so, and the whole entire time as I'm looking at him, the thing kept popping in my life, how we are, if, do we do the same thing with the people that are in our lives, and I put down here that he uses wife to fix his financial problems, and that is correct. Now, the other young man was Julian, and he was a good guy. Although he desired Ryan, he valued the sanctity of marriage. He was also Ryan's protector, knight in shining armor, and he revealed life and possibilities. So who in your life is revealing life and possibilities to you? All right? So with that outline, ladies, let's talk. Let's talk. All those questions, all those things that you were holding in, go ahead and chime them in. Tell me, and I'm going to go back to Barbara. Barbara pointed out that she was Lisa. She was Lisa, and she held the identity of this particular person, and how she closed herself off, been hurt, don't want to go through that form of hurt again. And so basically she's trying to find out, how do I go about this? How do I, reconnect and refine myself? And if you notice, with Lisa, they kept challenging her, they kept challenging her and taunting at her, and even down to when she kept trying to get her phone to connect so she can call the children, call the mom. And, she couldn't release those habits, those old habits, so when we think about a person such as that may be you, that may be somebody, what are some options that we can do to break that habit, that identity of being boxed down, of closed out, or where you have confined yourself to, I guess I should say that heart protector. How do you do that? Because when you think about it, you should not be, I should not be, you should not be, we shouldn't just be existing, we should be living. And part of living, means that, even though you were hurt, you still have you still are a woman. You're still beautiful. You still have wants and needs, and to say that you aren't going to be hurt again, yeah, you're going to be hurt. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to go through some stress and struggles, but that does not limit you. You know, it doesn't take away from who you really are. You know, what do you guys think? Tell me. Yeah. Mika says, evaluate what caused the hurt. Her option, yeah. Find someone to talk it out with. Take one day at a time and to move past the pain. Kudos, Mika. Great. I really, you know, and that was it. Because each one of these ladies never stopped to assess their pain. They never stopped to look at, oh, you know, what did I do? What did somebody do to me? How did that hurt walk through that door? You know, were there signs that were going on that I chose to put blinders on? How many people I definitely can attest to it. You know, when you're built, you know, thinking about, for me, it was always thinking about tomorrow, you know, how to build, how to create, how to get the ideal life. Same thing like Dana, how to get that ideal life. And when I thought I had made it, I really hadn't made it at all. You know, I became complacent. So, you know, tell me about you guys. What do you think? Is Shamika right in your eyes, in your opinion? Okay, I see the hearts. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now I see a frown too. See, I look for those nonverbal cool cues. So I want to know, okay, what's going on? All right. You know, and then the other part of it is that trying to get here. You know, going back to what I was pointing out earlier, when you know, when we go backwards and looking at these ladies, and they gave that recaption of them in high school. I mean, not high school, but college, and all the things that they did, the free spirit that they have. Do you think that we as women, do we ever remember who we used to be? Do we ever stop long enough to reminisce? Do you ever stop long enough to reminisce who you were when in your 20s, in your, you know, 18, 19? Barbara said, to me, it goes back to one of our topics, mirror, mirror, because when I look at that, at what I've been through, it makes me more stronger than I was a beautiful woman, phenomenal woman. Wow. Kudos to you, Barbara. Yeah, that mirror. Well, with the exception of last night's session, mirror was one of those great breakers for us. All of the ladies that have been a part of the community. Mirror really brought out a lot of stuff. And, you know, as I pointed out, you know, it's just one of those things you do have to, even though I talked about how Sasha, you know, stood up in the mirror and I'm not mirror, but she stood in the mirror and kept giving those affirmations. You know, the only downfall to her is she wasn't acting them out. She was still affirming herself as a means of telling herself what she is doing is okay. It is right. And it's all for the good, but it really wasn't the good, because if anything that you are doing, if it make other people happy and it does not make you happy, then that is not good. You know, there's supposed to be reciprocation. You know, that happiness is supposed to be give and take. It's supposed to be, you know, we're both enjoying it at the same time. We're both, you know, sad at the same time. You know, or, you know, even if that sadness is not real sad, it should be a form of concern. You know, and so it's not that we have to constantly lift other people up. It's just that, you know, that's saying if you hurt, I hurt. You know, if something is not wrong, you know, not right, then, you know, we need to get it right, because we're both supposed to be on the same level. And so, okay. Angela Gilmore says, healing is always a work in progress. Amen. It really is. It's every day. And I think that's why I love what I do, because of the fact that every day I learn something new about myself. Every day I'm challenged. I remember when I was trying to just get across that aisle, because I had never taken the time to try to accomplish anything in life. I've never taken the time to accomplish anything in life. You know, I was always elevating other people around me. I was always looking for the good in them, the strength in them, the accomplishments in them. And I could read their resume. But when it came down to me, I didn't have a resume. I was a mother of 5 children. I was a wife. Now I'm a grandmother. So that was my little 10-minute elevator speech. And to me, it was like, gosh, you're the most boring woman in the world. Dang, and then other people outside were like, gosh, you're doing such great things. You're a wonderful mom. You're at their events, and that's good. And I don't take away from that. I really enjoyed what I did. But, when someone asks you, who are you? And you can't say who that person is, and you can't say who you are, that's a very sad person, so that's my spiel. What is yours? What do you think about that? Let me see where we at. Timothy. So, based off of going back to Onika, thank you, Onika, for tapping in. That let everybody know you my daughter, because you think like I think. But yes, the key part of this session was each and every one of us are all of these women. We're not one of them. We're not Ryan per se. We're not just, Sasha or Dina or Lisa. We are all of these women. We might not have been them all at this one state, but we have been them. We have done these things, or we are doing these things, or we are, and that's why, going back to what I was saying, just putting myself into a place of identifying with others and elevating others and forgetting, hey, you are doing all of these things and they are, reaping the rewards. But what about you? When will you reap a reward? Angela says, should we act like a man at the I didn't read that book, right? I did not read that book, so somebody will have to chime in on that has read it. But I do think we need to know. I think we need to know how men function. I will say that. You need to know how they function. You need to know, because the biggest part of a man is he's a hunter. That much I can tell you. He is a hunter. And Tiffany, hey Tiffany, how are you? Glad to see you're here. I hope your foot is feeling better. No, you can remain a woman and still maintain. Okay, Mika, elaborate on that for me, if you don't mind. Because, like I say, I didn't read the book, so I don't know. I think that think like a man won't act like a woman think like a woman act like a man, or something like that. Was that all focused on sex? Am I correct, or am I wrong? I hate talking. I think that's my downfall, is when I don't know something. But if that was the case, and I know they was talking about, when you're supposed to extend yourself or whatever, just saying, that's cool, Angela. It's fine, but it's just wondering. It's a question that we need to answer. No, it wasn't. Okay. I am so sick, bad cold. Yes, foot trying to do good. Bless. Thank you so much for letting us know. I read about half of it. Oh my goodness, that's kind of messy, especially if you had to buy the book, Jessica. But since I don't know, I'm going to just say I think we need to know men, just like they need to know us. They need to know what clicks about us. And so in knowing them, and then as well as knowing ourselves, it gives you the opportunity to know what you like. And I'm a firm believer. And if you don't know what you like, think about what you don't like. And if you know that you don't like a particular thing, that's a key indicator that, especially if somebody is hitting those pressure points about you, just like with Ryan, her husband knew her pressure points. He also knew, he also knew how to, extort her, by using certain key words, and which were, we're building. Our image is this. we can have this. But it wasn't about him knowing her based off of her heart. It was about him knowing her based off of her image. And the only thing that he was concerned about was making certain that he maintains the lifestyle and image that was going to elevate him, that was going to keep money flowing in to where he could continue doing the outside things. Now, when you do that, and I do something such as that, you know, who are we really, you know, who are you really helping? You know, and I say that because I'm seeing a lot of young girls now, who are supporting men. So I throw that one out there. Miss Tiffany said a man can know a woman's pressure points and still disrespect her. Yeah, he sure can. He sure can. He will definitely. Shamika says no, it wasn't focused on sex. It dealt mainly with being calculated. But if you are always calculating your steps, then you're no longer in a relationship. You are preparing for war games as well as, oh, okay. You're preparing for always rejecting, okay, as well as hiding the true you. Always project who you are and communicate your likes and dislikes. Okay, based off of that statement, yes, I would agree with Mika based off of that statement, and because I have not read the book, you know, I don't remember why I didn't read the book. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Oh, okay. So it's true. Okay, Jessica, that's why you stopped reading. Yeah, because you know, and if that's the case, you know, relationship is not supposed to be about. Even though I use the word partner, it's not supposed to be about, you know, attacking one another or. You know, you're supposed to enjoy. You know, it's like what they say, you know, date yourself, go out and enjoy learning about yourself. When you go out and you're with a male, you want that moment to enjoy, that space and time, laugh. That's why I took, you know, when we talked about, you know, I shared with you ladies about, you know, how I date. And because I date, I enjoy myself so much better because there's no pressure. I'm not thinking about, you know, after dinner, because we both, the individual already know it's a date. I'm going to eat. We're going to laugh. And at the end of the day, you go your way and I go mine. And hopefully you'll call me. Hopefully I'll remember to call you. Hopefully I'll remember to call you. And you know, and that's where we're at least that's where I'm at in mine. I'm enjoying. I'm doing what I never got the opportunity to do. So it is connected to these ladies. I didn't do that. I spent the majority of my life raising children, raising my children, raising somebody else's children, and making certain that they got where they needed to be or wanted to be. And when I say that, I don't say that with distaste. I say that because, you know, that was what my purpose was at that particular time. And now that I know me, and now that I'm thankful for what I did, but now I have the opportunity to see where, you know, I gave away my voice. I gave away, you know, to somebody else. So, you know, in saying that, I hope that you ladies are thinking from the same perspective, you know. And I know majority of us are mothers. And so as mothers, we look back. And I think about the older women and how they say, you know, they had so much regret. I think about my grandmother, my aunties, and, you know, the older great aunties and things, and they didn't have a voice. They raised us not to have a voice. And so we grew up, and Barbara can attest to this, we grew up thinking we're supposed to continue the same cycle. And so I knew how to be the mother. I didn't know how to be Juanita, if that makes sense. What do you think? You know, I did know how to do those things. I did not know how to be Juanita. So now is that life learning lessons that I'm engaging in learning how to be Juanita. And so she's great. She is really great. And she, you know, she has accomplished a lot. All right. Oh, you know, guys, we get in here and get into conversation. It seems like time just go like that. What do you think about this topic that we had tonight? Did you learn, did you learn anything? Tell me what were some key factors that you learned. I would love to hear from every one of you. What were the key factors that were your takeaways from what we brought out? Thanks, Jessica, for the hearts. Thanks, Liz, for the hearts. Shamika says, I know how to be the IT lady. I'm learning how to be Shamika. Yeah, that became your, those titles become your identity. And you have to remind people who you are. And it doesn't take away from what you love. You are IT, you love IT, but IT is not Shamika. You see? And so that would be me. I am Juanita. I am a mom and grandmother, but I am not, those titles do not define me. And so that's really what the identity crisis is finding your voice, expressing your voice, and once you decide who that person is, make certain everybody else know who you are. Do not allow them to redefine you and then causing you to be conformed to their form of specifications. If I'm making sense, their livelihood and their happiness, their stability, their strength. And after, and if the rug is ever, ripped from you like it was with me, you're not standing in the corner going, who am I? Hey, who am I? Do you know who I am? What can I do? Do we become weak? Yes, we do. But if there's a way that you can strengthen yourself, hopefully I've given you some pointers in it. Okay. We have 6 minutes, ladies. So again, chime in, tell me something. Angela Gilmore says, President Obama was a good example of how a man should treat a woman. Respect, grace, and style. Yes, you're right. Exactly. And I don't think that was ever modeled to so many African American men. I'm not saying all of them. I said so many. And I definitely, when I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking about the men I grew up with. So I'm not thinking about anybody that you're associated with. Barbara says she definitely can agree. President Obama was a great model image of a man who loved his wife and his family, and how that image is supposed to be projected. And and just imagine if all men had those forms of mentors to teach them how to love and teach them how to secure that. That would be so wonderful. All right. I don't remember what tomorrow's topic is. Mika, chime in, please, and let everybody know so I can piggyback off of that. But like I said, with all of this that we pointed out tonight, the end result with the movie was that the thing that pulled all of them apart was, chasing after different dreams. But as they were chasing after those different dreams, they lost their identity. But when they remerged and they relearned who they were, who they used to be rather, and then they began to live again. And so basically that's what I think we as women need to do, is we need to relearn who we are. And that's why Rediscover Me has that caption, rediscover the me that you want to be, because you have the option. Like, even every day that you get up, you have the option to learn something new about how phenomenal you are. Barbara said, I need to have a man club of how to treat a woman. Yes, Barbara. Can we give them the shock treatment if they don't comply? So don't send me any ugly emails, guys. I'm just joking. I'm laughing. I hope you're laughing with us. And ladies, you know what? I found that there are a lot of men joined our conversation last night, and there has been a lot of men listening to our segment. And so the team and I talked about it, looked at the numbers, and Barbara says yes. If you guys want to join in, please share if you're on here. share with us. I can't tell if you're on here until after everything is over with, but if you want to share, please, please chime in. The only thing that we ask, and we will be putting up some rules for the community, is that do it with respect. Okay, thank you, Mika. Do it with respect, and and use this platform as a means of understanding a woman, understanding what is needed for them, and how it can help strengthen your relationship. So hopefully you express that. Tomorrow night's topic. Tomorrow night is Thursday. That is going to be, is the most vocal woman the most broken woman? Is the most vocal woman the most broken woman? I can't wait to check that one out. And how we're going to proceed on that. But with our last 3 minutes, guys, I just want to point out we're still trying to grow. We're going to be asking everyone, and if you did not share the video tonight, please, everyone, at the same time, share it. Please encourage other individuals to come on, because I don't know if this is helping you, but it's definitely helping me in a lot of areas. I enjoy when the team come up with these topics and these ideas. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for sharing. I really appreciate it. But they come up with these great topics, and they come up with all of this background information, and it teaches me lots of things. And so I'm always looking or anxious to come in and share that with you. And so with that, we're going to be trying to grow. And so I encourage you and ask you guys to share, encourage other ladies to come into the community, because what I know is that there are so many people we miss. And I think the girls are coming up with a gift card or some type of hashtag that they're going to be asking each of you to be using, so that way when you tweet or or share information or stuff and encourage people to come on, that they'll be able to go in and count, and then give a giveaway, like a card or something. I don't know exactly what they're going to come up with, but they'll come up with something. Angela says today's men act like act like women. They want us to do it. Yes, don't they? And then yes, don't, gosh, but unfortunately, the sad part about it, the women that are not coming into our community are the ones who are helping them to be that way. Not all of them, but there are quite a few that help them to become that. Barbara says it's helping me to be more stronger woman, and it's just what Barbara, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, I shared this thing this week, I think it was, and it was this guy who was sitting in a baby's crib, not a crib, but a thank you, Mika, I see it, high chair. The guy was sitting in a baby's high chair with a bottle and a pacifier. So I shared that. But yes, that's what we're doing. Now, also, as Mika just pointed out, hey guys, next week is your choice. This viewer's choice. So you send in what you want, and also choose your song. Barbara Wilson has already sent in hers, and so we're going to be putting together that. And so Tiffany says, Tiffany chimed in and says, cause they want love so bad, they put up with helping them. Like, yes, helping them want to be accepted. Yeah, women do that. They want that love so bad. They want, it's that emptiness that's inside. And so, I never affirmed shopping, but I'd encourage you to go out shopping and spend, and do a couple of credit cards before you go out and and treat a man like that. I really would. Angela said, okay, so much for me. Let's get back to have y'all noticed that Angela's a pistol? I love her. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in and making me laugh and having a great time. But you all are the heart of this community, and I really appreciate it. So with that being said, we're gonna get ready to chime off. I want you to remember to be positive, encourage someone, be respectful. Tomorrow's going to be a wonderful and great day. Can't wait to join in with you all tomorrow night. Remember that our Heavenly Father loves you, and so do I. And so, Angela, we will start tomorrow back on topic talking about us, okay? Good night, everybody.